Hola amigos and welcome back to JDP's Questions, Wings and Things. This week we have the one and only Rob Lovegrove from Rowland, another English fella, core blimey governor. Let's see how we go with this one. Okay, I'll go light on that one then.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about Rowland and what sets you guys outside from the rest of the market.
Rowland at its core is off to a good start, is a corporate comms firm. Yeah. It was an international brand many moons ago out of the States, slightly demised. Saatchi & Saatchi did buy the brand, and in '92 here in Australia, a guy called Jeff Rogers took up the firm.
Okay.
Here in Brisbane. Corporate comms still at our heart, but we've got so many different facets to the business. So I head the digital and data team,
yep.
But we have everything from financial investor relations, organisational comms,
yep.
And government relations. So a lot of ex-politicians, policy advisors on board. But Rowland at its core doesn't just go and get ex-comms people or journalists. We've had nurses, teachers, ex-army people. We had 12 people from the military who did a lot of crisis preparedness and business continuity.
Bloody eclectic group there, mate.
It really is. And it's all on the basis of comms at its absolute core. Its absolute core.
Nice.
So yeah, wow. Oh, wow.
They get nicer.
It's going to get worse, isn't it?
They get nicer and nicer as they go by. Right. Okay, so let's have a quick shake of this one, mate. What are Rowland doing differently now versus start of the year?
A lot of the same, to be perfectly honest. We've, my team in particular, from a digital comms perspective, said the best start to the financial year we've had in my 15 years there. Yeah. But I think that's indicative of how businesses have had to change themselves. It's probably no big surprise that we have had more volume of interest as people change to a work from home attitude.
Yep.
IT systems, of course, have got to change.
Yep. But
humans, by our very nature, we don't like change. And so how are people actually adopting to that?
Yes.
And what plans do they put in place? So a lot of that is focused around how we help our clients change how they actually work. This is killing me.
Cool, arc it in. Right, in the time that you spent with the business, have a bite. In the time that you spent with the business, what would you say has been Rowland's biggest win or your personal win within the group?
That's a really tough one because, we've had some really great clients that we've worked for. For me, it's about doing good work for good people, and we've got some really great businesses that aren't global brands, they're not world beaters, dare I say, and for that reason I'm not going to say who they are because I don't want to suggest that they're anything other than awesome, but we do great work for great people. That's what our mantra is. And so if I can get out of bed and go to work and do some really great work, and it means that organisation has done something great for the first time, or they've maybe have been plateauing, they've gone on to do other great things as a result of our support, that for me is the best thing we can possibly do.
Solid answer. I like that. How did you go with that third one?
Hated it.
Hated it?
Yeah, I'm hating every minute of this, to be honest with you. No, I'm not joking.
Okay, so fourth question. When you arrived over here and when you first started with Rowland, McDonalds, as in the Golden Arches McDonalds, was one of your key clients for a number of years. And you kick-started with a group their first social campaign. How did that end up and how did things then evolve over a number of years, I guess?
It's an interesting story because McDonald's, everybody knows McDonald's, and I feel very fortunate to have worked for so long for them, or with them, on behalf of Rowland. This was in 2005, so real early days of social. We were engaged purely from a media relations sort of comms perspective, but it came soon after the Morgan Spurlock documentary Super Size Me, which just gave them an absolute hammering. We had said to them, obviously, there's this thing called social media that's on the horizon, and nowhere in the world had McDonald's entertained going online because they thought, geez, we're taking a beating in the traditional media. We don't want every Tom, Dick and Harry now to give us an absolute pasting on our social media accounts as well. I personally led the team that created their first Facebook strategy, which was purely around, and it's fun.
Oh, there you go. got the vocal cords.
But it's funny now talking about geographical boundaries, but we looked at it purely from a Gold Coast perspective. McDonald's is a great brand, it's a great organisation, and I'm not being paid to say this, but they're a great organisation. They had something like 57,000 people employed in Queensland. Most of these are youngish kids going through university, and they were taking a beating by saying, oh, they're all spotty oiks and they're no gooders. These were people who are going through university, or they're young mums, or they're older, mature Australians who are doing really hard work. It's got great work ethic, and what we found was it gave them a platform to come out and defend the brand. For them, they found it was a really great opportunity to go and get their workforce behind a collective effort to present the brand positively to the public. So that was, for me, is just a really great outcome, and it's something I talk about to this day.
What would be the single best piece of advice that you would give your 18-year-old self?
I think it's actually, funnily enough, it's doing good things for good people, and that's a personal mantra and that's why I've stayed at Rowland for so long. I think I've got the same personal mantra: do really great things for really great people, and you know what, you will be rewarded, whatever that looks like. And that's the way I would sort of live my life, and I wouldn't change anything I've ever done, to be honest with you. I've enjoyed every step of my professional life, and so it's not a bad way of living. As well as helping McDonald's on its course, can I say my other claim to fame is I was the instigator for the world's first ever dress made purely out of poppadoms.
Oh, yes.
I mean, that's pretty cool, right?
That is, I would wear that. If you would have brought that dress in right now, as soggy and buggered as it would have been.
I don't think it would fit you and I, mate, but...
Look, yeah, Rob Lovegrove, thank you for making it in, representing Rowland. We will see you next week on JDP's Questions, Wings and Things. See you guys.